So here we have a rational equation with different denominators. So we need to make the denominators the same, but first, on this right hand side, we can see we've got an addition, so we need to solve that first. Now with addition or subtraction of any fraction, we need to make sure these denominators are the same. As 1 is a whole number, well, it's simply over 1. So now we can determine what's missing in the denominators. Well, the right hand side already contains 1, because 1 is a factor of everything. This left hand side doesn't have p in its denominator, so we need to multiply this whole side by p. So 1 times p over p, and we just leave the other one the same. So as you can see now, the denominators are the same, and we have p plus 1 all over p, and this replaces our right hand side. So now we're going to factor the left hand side denominator so we can see what's missing, so we can make both of the denominators the same. So p squared plus p is nice and easy to factor. I'm going to take p out as a common factor, and then I'm going to be left with p plus 1. And this p plus 1 replaces the denominator on the left hand side. So now we need to make sure the denominators on each side are the same so that we can equate the numerator. Now we can see both contain a p, but the right hand side does not contain this p plus 1, so we have to multiply the entire right hand side by p plus 1. So we can do that just by expanding the brackets. So p times p is p squared, plus 1p is p, plus another p is p, and plus 1, all over p plus 1. So we end up with p squared plus 2p plus 1, all over p plus 1. And now that we have our right hand denominator and our left hand denominator equal, we can equate the numerators. Just to make it a little clearer, I've just written it back in the left hand and right hand side, and you can see that these two denominators are equal. Therefore the numerators are also equal, and we can go ahead and solve. I'm just going to rewrite the numerators. I'm going to ignore the denominators now because we no longer need them. So all we need to do is rearrange this until we have a solution. Now we have p squared and p squared on each side, so they cancel. And then we can start moving everything else around. This is positive 2p, so if I move it to the other side, I'm going to subtract 2p, so I end up with just p. And then I'm going to take my negative 28 to the other side by adding 28, so I get 29. And there is my solution. P equals 29. Now just remember, you always have to check for extraneous solutions, so we need to look at our restrictions. So to do that, we look at our denominators and we see what value of p would give us 0 in the denominator. Well, here it's going to be negative 1, so p cannot equal negative 1, because negative 1 plus 1 is 0, and it also can't equal 0. Now, 29 is neither 0 or negative 1, so it is indeed our solution, and you're finished.